Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. I'm at the 3 Men in a Basement comic swap. It should be an awesome show. Let's go check it out. What's up, buddy? Awesome.
All right, that was easy. All right, next one.
Hey, Very Gary. Cool. Big books here, too. Hey guys, Very Gary. Never met him before. Big fan of the show, buddy. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. I was getting like, that's pretty cool. That is very cool. Hey guys, Jim from Bronzeville Comics. Big fan of the show as well.
Yeah, everybody out here at the 3 Men in a Basement comic swap. So hopefully we'll pick up some good books today.
Looking forward to it. There's awesome stuff here.
I'll check out your channel and see what you got.
You can tell by the diamond box and the Spider-Man set.
It's not bad. Nice. A lot of steam.
It's a cheese. It has like a weird flavor. McDonald's cheese. It's good on burgers, but it's not good on the breakfast sandwiches.
It's actually good for my recording.
What size are you, bro? XL? All right.
Whoa.
Chris, so we need to...
Cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Awesome. All right, these are the raffle prizes. Cool. Oh, that's cool. Love the demon. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Lights are bad here.
This thing's gonna beep and go off.
They still got the soda, right?
Who'd you say signed it? Mark Wolfman?
Yeah, Wolfman, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Joe from 360 Comics, another YouTuber. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. Absolutely.
We got German, First Silver Surfer, Galactus. Awesome. That's really cool.
It's a blank.
That's a blank sketch.
Johnny Desjardins.
Johnny D.
Wow.
Early Johnny D.
First African? That's first African.
First alpha.
Well, let me do this. Second Alarm Comics. All right. I love that book. Wow. That's a lot. Check the zero levels. UK printer.
trying to read by it.
That's
Painful.
yep. Heard that story so many times, you know.
We all have done it. Well, you said you haven't. But most of us have some kind of one of those stories. But my kids don't have college debt, so.
I mean, we take slap hits. We do stuff, but not a big fan.
Yeah, I get it.
I think
that's
if
cool.
you're selling online, I get it. You know, it's way too big. Yeah, that's the 180.
Cool. There he is.
Marvel when announcing the 180. Did you see that, by the way? Marvel announced the 180 facsimile that they're doing.
Yeah.
And they announced it by saying, reprinting the first appearance of Wolverine.
Oh,
So
nice.
everybody's like,
Yeah.
Detective. Oh, that's.
All right, guys. So this is a comic swap. I did bring a small short box of stuff I'm willing to trade, and I'm here with Second Alarm Comics trying to come up with a deal. They pulled out some pretty good books from my collection that I'm not entirely sure I want to part with, unless we can find a deal that is really good in my favor, or one that is for a book I really, really want. So let's see what I can find. All right. So these books here are what they would like to trade. All right, guys, here's what I'm looking at. This Fantastic Four 49, First Galactus, has some serious issues. This color touch, you can kind of see it. It's also missing one page. But it's one of those, low grade, better than no grade. It'd be fun to have it, even with the stamp over Galactus' eyes. I'm not really sure I want to go there. I also grabbed this Spider-Man number 16, first Spider-Man Daredevil matchup. I think it's attached barely at the top staple, but it's in pretty rough shape. You get the standard, some X-Men books I am missing. This was really cool. Very cool. And then we have Submariner 1, which is a lot more money than what I have in trade, but it's beautiful copy. So, I don't know. I'm going to look at him a little bit closer and think what I want to do. Exactly. All right, so I'm going to remove the Daredevil 2 because I like it so much. And I think I'm going to trade Brother Voodoo, Wolverine, and some throw-ins here for first Deadpool.
Good deal.
Good deal, buddy. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm here with Otto from Three Men in a Basement at this amazing comic book show. How you doing, Otto?
Good, man. You flatter me with amazing, man. I'll take
it's
that
amazing.
attitude.
This is a fantastic show. The setting is incredible. Look, there's a bar here.
Yeah.
They got food trucks out front. They get a DJ. This is a really unique experience. Pretty awesome.
Thank you, man.
How long you guys been doing this?
So this is our third year at this level.
Okay.
It actually started about 6 years ago with 35 guys.
Wow.
Right now we have over 350 people in the building right now.
Wow.
So I'll definitely take that,
If the parking lot's any indication, you're absolutely right. I
Yes,
had a
we
hard time
tried.
getting in here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Roger, myself, and David and Kevin worked real hard to give something a little bit different where you're not just digging through boxes and you take off. I know you
Right.
travel, people travel. I want to give you guys a reason to stay. I think comic books are a communal process, and it's artwork, it's part of Americana, and why not converse with people you might not know, or find somebody out on social media and just hang out for the day. And I think that's happening right now.
Absolutely. I would say this is more of an experience than a comic book show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
It's a fantastic time. And you guys have like a dinner and stuff later?
So yeah, what we do is now, usually we go back to my house for a little barbecue for people that want to, but I got to put this place back together. So I'm buying pizza, and then we're going to put this place back together. So after the party, it's the after party.
Oh, of course, absolutely.
So that's what we're going to do.
That's awesome.
So,
well, Otto, thank you very much. This has been an awesome experience. I'm really proud of it. Hey guys, if you guys haven't checked out Three Men in a Basement, check out their channel. I'll make sure to put a link down the bottom. Sub them up. And if you're ever in New England or New York, anywhere in the Northeast, we have people from all over the Northeast.
Yeah.
You got to check out the show. It's
thank
fantastic.
You, my pleasure, man.
Awesome.
Huge fan of this
Otto.
channel too, man. This guy's does great videos.
Thanks, Otto. Take it
Awesome.
easy. All right, guys, this was an amazing show and an even better experience. I got some great comic books. Can't wait to go home and show you guys what I got. So there you go, guys. That was the Three Men in a Basement comic book swap in Newington, Connecticut. And I actually just got back from it, guys. A lot of times, I film this portion when I'm talking to the camera, days, sometimes even weeks after I initially get the comic books. But that's not the case here. I just got home and I was so excited about my experience. I wanted to share it all with you right away. Because as you heard me say in that interview with Otto, this wasn't just a comic book show, it was an experience. I mean, they had the music going with the DJ, they had food trucks there, they had a bar, great vendors, they had artists, and people brought comic books to trade. It was a great atmosphere. And the building was awesome. It was actually in a barber shop. That's what it normally is. They took all the barber shop chairs out. Really unique place. Really cool configuration where everything was laid out. Cool sight lines. I've just never been to a comic book show like that. And the best part, of course, was the people. I had a ton of people come up to me and say, you know, like they watched the channel, but I got to meet other YouTubers, some of which you saw in that footage. So you saw Joe from 360 Comics, you saw Jim from Bronzeville Comics, and of course, Very Gary himself. I actually had a fantastic conversation with Gary that I feel really bad I didn't record it because I was asking him for advice on YouTube, on comic book YouTubing, because guys, he's one of the old guard, right? He was one of the first people to start doing this comic book YouTubing. He's been around for a while, and I was really interested in sort of like his advice. And he told me something great. He said, make sure you're having fun. That's it. He said, just make sure you're having a good time, you enjoy doing what you're doing, because as soon as it stops being fun, it starts feeling like work. And I definitely took that to heart because honestly, guys, as I've ramped up like the production of videos on my channel, there are times late at night, 1 and 2 in the morning when I'm filming or editing where it starts to feel a little bit like work. So I'm definitely taking that to heart. I definitely want to make sure that I am enjoying myself first and foremost. And trust me, guys, I am. I'm having a fantastic time. But yeah, no, it was great advice from Gary. I had a great conversation. It was great meeting him, and I love his channel. So if you are also one of the other YouTubers I met that I forgot, and I did. I met a lot of them. If you're one of those people that I talked to, I apologize. I met a lot of people. Definitely sound off down in the comments. Let me know who you are. And I will make sure to put a link to your YouTube channel down in the description, along with the other people that I just mentioned. Guys, all great YouTubers. We all try to look out for each other in the YouTube community. If you like my channel, you will definitely like all of theirs. So make sure you check out their channels if you haven't already, and make sure you sub them up. All that being said, guys, I got some pretty cool comic books in my time at the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap. Before I show you what they are, if you like this stuff and want to support the channel, go down, hit that like button, leave me a comment, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. So when I went into this show, I was a man on a mission. I was looking for one book in particular, and that was Swamp Thing number 37, first appearance of John Constantine. I've mentioned on my channel recently, I'm really into the Justice League Dark characters. I'm trying to get a lot of their first appearances, so the first John Constantine is very high on my list. So I was going around asking lots of people, and no one had it. I was actually shocked, but I eventually made my way around to my buddy Josh from Buzz Comics. Josh is a guy who lives in New England. I see him at all the New England shows. He's originally from North Carolina, has a fantastic accent. And when I asked him, like, hey, do you have the first appearance of John Constantine? He said no, but he had something else. So he showed me these 4 Swamp Thing books. They're all from 1984. And the numbers are 24, 25, 27, and 28. And what's so interesting about these things? Well, there's 2 of them. The first one is that they are all signed by the artists. So these were all written by, of course, by Alan Moore, but the artists on these were Stephen Bissett and John Tottleben. They signed on the inside cover on all 4 of these books. The other point of interest and the reason why Josh thought of this when I mentioned Constantine is that this book here, number 25, is considered by some people to be the first cameo appearance of John Constantine. Kind of. So the history behind this is that the artists, Stephen Bissett and John Tottleben, wanted to include a character in these books that looked like the real life person, Sting. You know, the lead singer of The Police. So they actually drew a character into this book that looks just like Sting. And then they asked Alan Moore to basically make a character with like speaking parts that's a real character. And a year later, Alan Moore made John Constantine, and he looks exactly like Sting in his early appearances. So he's literally modeled after the character that appears in this book. Although in here, although it looks like Constantine, his face, he's not wearing like the iconic trench coat. He's not identified as such. So some people consider the background character in this book to be that first cameo appearance. I think that is a nebulous claim at best, but I don't care. These are really cool Swamp Thing books. They're autographed by the authors. Maybe a first appearance of John Constantine. And the best part is, Josh sold these to me for $50, all of them. You see some of the prices on the back. I mean, this one he had $40 as it is, you know, 25, 20, 10. He had a lot of money in these books. He sold them to me for $50. I really appreciate it, Josh, and I will definitely see it at the next show. Very cool books right here. So these next two comic books I got from Brickhouse Comics out of Meriden, Connecticut. And it's owned by a great guy named James. And I see James pretty much every single month at CliffCon in Plainville, Connecticut. As a matter of fact, I buy books from him pretty much every single month. And the reason is he always has awesome half-price key comic books. In fact, his whole setup is all like books that say half-price keys, and there's always an army of people digging through these boxes. It's hard to even get in there to find some of these treasures, but I always find something good. And I feel bad because I've never actually mentioned him on my channel. So James, I'm giving you a shout out right now. Listen guys, I grew up in the early 90s. That's when I really started collecting. But I don't like to buy books from the early 90s. I just feel like it's the worst era in comic books, even though they're, important to me and I remember them. I don't like spending a lot of money on them, which is ironic because I actually got a whole bunch of really big 90s books. This next one isn't a huge book, but it's cool and I really wanted it. It's Ghost Rider #1, Volume 3 from 1990, and this is the first appearance of the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. So I hate to admit it, guys, but growing up in the early 90s, I didn't even know who Johnny Blaze was. This was the Ghost Rider that I knew and loved. I have his Marvel, trading card, so I've always wanted his first appearance. I just didn't want to spend a lot of money on this book. So when I found it in the half-price bin, and it would cost me $15, I absolutely had to have it for that price. But as I'm about to show you, I got it for even less than that. Because the other book I found, this was actually on the wall he had behind him, so it wasn't a half price, but it's a great book and a great price anyways. It is this. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 361 from 1992, and this is the first full appearance of Carnage. So, I'm not a huge Carnage fan, but again, he's an important part of, Marvel Comics in the 90s, and, again, I have his trading card. I needed his first appearance. This is a book I always look at, but it is kind of an expensive book. It often goes for hundreds of dollars. So you can imagine my surprise when I saw not only it had a sticker of $120, but it's in fantastic shape. This is a beautiful condition book. So when I saw James, I said, hey man, I pulled these two books out. This one was half price, this one's $120. What could you do? And I think the first price he threw at me was, how about $115 for both? So basically he was cutting off $20 of this. And I said, sure. And then without me prompting him, I basically agreed to that. He goes, well, wait a minute, are you gonna pay cash? I said, sure. He said, 100 even. Sure, so I gave him $100 for both of these books, which I think is a fantastic deal, and he even threw in a free t-shirt. So here you go. There is the Brickhouse Comics t-shirt he threw in for free. How cool is that? So thank you very much to James from Brickhouse Comics. I got two awesome early 90s books for a great, great price. I'm very happy to add these to my trading card first appearances collection. Very cool. So this last comic book I actually got through a trade. It is a comic book swap after all. And when I left the house this morning, I was running a little late. So I just grabbed a short box I knew had lots of comic books that I would be willing to trade or sell. And I threw a couple of other books in there, like ones I want to level up, get a better condition book. And my intent was to carry the short box in and have it kind of on me if anyone wanted to trade. The problem is when I got there, the parking lot was full and it was raining cats and dogs. So I had to park a little bit down the street. And the last thing I wanted to do was walk, up the street in the pouring rain with this box. So I figured I would just kind of ask people who was amenable to trades, and then I would go get the box if that came up, if there was something that I wanted to trade for. So I was walking around and I met these guys from Second Alarm Comics, and they actually recognized me from my channel. We had a great conversation, super nice guys. And the topic came up about trading. And these guys said that they are happy to trade at a 1-to-1. Equal value, guys. You never see that. Not only that, but they'd be willing to trade lots of small books for a bigger book, which some people aren't willing to do either. So I thought that was fantastic. And then I started looking at their stuff, and they had so much stuff I wanted. They had some X-Men books I need for my Chris Claremont run. They had a really, really low grade Fantastic Four 49 first appearance of Galactus. They had a Hulk 180 first appearance of Wolverine, although the Marvel value stamp was cut out. They had Submariner #1. I mean, they had Spider-Man #16. So many books that I wanted. So I went and got my box out of my car, had the umbrella wedged under my armpit. It was ugly. Brought my books in, and they were very enthusiastic going through these. And of course, they took out a whole bunch of books that, I kind of like, and a whole bunch that I did not care about whatsoever. So basically the only ones in there that were bigger books. There was a Wolverine #8, which I talked about very recently on my channel. Very famous Buscema cover of Wolverine and the Hulk. They pulled out a Daredevil #2, which is a book I love, even though it's in low grade. I love Daredevil. I only threw it in there because I want a better copy. They grabbed my first Brother Voodoo and then some other throw-ins. And they went through the value of all of these, and we came up with a value of about $390, which honestly could get me a lot of the comic books that I wanted. However, I was kind of loath to let that Daredevil 2 go. I only brought it because I wanted to get a better condition one. So I took that out, and we were somewhere around like $200 in trade. And I was looking at all these books, and there was only one that really fit the bill and the price. You got to trade for a comic book at a comic book swap, and I traded for this. This is The New Mutants number 98 by Rob Liefeld from 1991. And of course, this is the first appearance of the character Deadpool. Also, the first appearance of Copycat. It's not actually Domino, that's Copycat pretending to be Domino, in the villain Gideon. But everyone gets this book because of Deadpool. I mentioned earlier, guys, that, you know, it's a 90s book. I don't love 90s books. I don't like spending a lot of money on 90s books. And this is one of the most expensive 90s books there is, despite the fact that I'm not a huge Deadpool fan. I tend to think he's a little overhyped and this book is a little overpriced. But I'm definitely a completionist. I love the X-Men. I love the X-Men affiliated characters. I collect their first appearances, and I collect the first appearances of those guys in those trading cards. So I always needed to have the first appearance of Deadpool. I just didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. So I was very happy to trade for it. So they actually had 3 copies. They had 2 higher grade ones that were over $400 each. And then they had this one listed at $250. Honestly, guys, there's only one color break right here in the corner. I think that's a pretty good price for just like one small blemish. I think it presents really great. And here's the best part. The books I traded for it, other than the Wolverine 8, which I bought for $36, all the other ones I got for nothing. Those were like toss-ins on like other comic book lots or things I got at like pawn shops and flea markets. I literally got those other ones for nothing. So I added a little bit of cash. I don't remember how much I actually gave them, but I was into this book for like $50. That was it. So a pretty awesome pickup for that. Didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. Always happy to trade to get the first appearance of Deadpool. How cool is that? You got to do something cool at a comic book swap, guys. These 2 guys I traded with were absolutely awesome in the trade department. I can't believe they were giving me a 1-to-1 trade and willing to trade smaller books for a bigger one. You never see that, so I'm really appreciative to those 2 guys. I'll definitely put a link down in the description to this store. Very cool, guys. First Deadpool. So there you go, guys. That was my amazing experience at the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap. And experience is definitely the operative term here. This is one of those shows, guys, I can't wait to go back to next year. I wish they did it more than once a year. Just so many great people, just such a great setting. And it's too bad I had to rush home today. I couldn't make it to that after party, but I will definitely make plans to do so next year and hang out with all these amazing people. Head on down to the comments, guys, and let me know what you think of the entire show, what you saw in the footage. Let me know what you think of the books that I got, which one you think is the favorite. And definitely, guys, make sure you check out all those people I mentioned in the video, including especially the 3 Men in a Basement. Awesome show that they put on. In the meantime, guys, I hope you keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places, including comic book shows in barbershops. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.